Good afternoon to all of you. Today I welcome you once again to my class, and my name is Dr. Vandana Vig. I am a professor working as a professor in the Tirthankar Mahavir University. I am placed at TIMET, that is Tirthankar Mahavir Institute of Management and Technology. So today in my class we will be discussing note making and note taking. Note making and note taking, most of you would have been aware of that what is note making and what is note taking. Note making and note making is because in the education field, in the professional world, we people come across these two things on and off. Okay, and when note taking, specifically when we talk about note making, it is very common in the education field. That is, the students, they have to take the note, they have to make the notes of what the teachers have taught. Means what the teachers have taught in the lectures, in the classes, whatever the teachers have taught, they write it down with them, and then after that, after writing down from what the teacher has taught in the class, then they add more things from, let's say, the book or from the different sites. Okay, then that is called note taking. Now note making is when whatever is being taught, we take up a topic and we collect different information or material content from different websites, books or different sources, and we collect them at one place. That is called note making. So there are two things, note making and note taking. Note making is essential specifically for students, okay, and note taking is there for the office purposes, but both of them are common in everywhere. This what I have been telling, that note making is for one field and note taking is for other field. This is not applicable these days. Now note making, note taking are important parts, essential parts of our formal communicative world. So first of all, let's see what are the learning outcomes, what we are going to learn from note making and note taking. First is it enhances comprehension and retention. Means comprehension, understanding and retaining retaining the information. Then critical thinking, it develops critical thinking. Critical thinking is that when we analyze and synthesize information, that is critical thinking. So our critical thinking is developed by this technique. Then it improves organization and time management. Then enhances writing and communication. And last is active learning and engagement. Means active learning and the reader is completely engaged. Total engagement of the person. Now we have the table of contents. The table of contents means what we are going to do in this class. First is the introduction. We will be discussing what is note making, what is note taking, then the definition, then the steps of note making and note taking, then importance, methods, tips, advantages and disadvantages, and then conclusion. So this is all what we are going to discuss in our class. After this, we have the note making. We will begin with the note making, the introduction to note making. What is note making? That is, it is a practice of recording information from different sources. That means we collect information on a given topic. When we collect information from different sources, okay. Supposing, let's say, I have to prepare for a lecture, and my lecture is on environment. Let's say environment. So what I will do, I will go to different sites and all the material about environment. Whatever I have to discuss about environment, all means the topic which I have selected, let's say the latest changes in the environment is my topic. Okay, so now on this topic, what are the latest changes in the environment? I will go to different sites. I will try to find out different books. Okay, and I will collect information from there and I will make my own notes. notes. I'll collect that information in one particular file, and then I'll see what I have to do with it. That how I have to analyze, how to synthesize, and then come to the main, take the gist out of it, whatever. So that is this all part is called note making. Means when we take information from different sources, then with the critical thinking, we decide what is important, what is less important, and then we keep the important things and omit the less important things. So this all, and then we come to a conclusion, means a perfect picture of the notes which we want. So this is called note making. Means it helps us in organizing our thoughts, in summarizing, means the information which we have taken from different sources, and it helps in memory retention also. That means we are able to retain things. We are able to remember things for a longer time. Then the definition of note making. The definition of note making is that note making can be defined as a process of summarizing and recording things, recording information from a lecture, book, or any other source of information. Then it invokes identifying and highlighting the key points, concepts, and ideas. So this means the key points, the concepts, the ideas. It helps in highlighting. The next is steps in note making. What are the steps that are incorporated in note making? The first one is identify the purpose. What is the purpose of this note making? Why do we want to do the note making? Whether it is for education purpose, or whether it is for some lecture, or for some presentation, or whatever the purpose is. We need to understand, or we are there to write a paper, so for research purpose. So all this depends, means we need to understand first that what is the purpose of our note making. Then the second is then according to the purpose we select a method. Now what are the methods? There are different methods, that is, which we are going to discuss in future, that is Cornell method, then mind mapping, then outlining method. These all are the methods of note making. So these methods will depend upon the purpose of our note making, why we need to do the note making. After this, there is active listening and reading. Active listening means it engages actively with the material by listening or reading. What does note making do? It engages the person. It engages the person means a person needs to be an active listener or active reader. Means active listening or active reading is a must, because if we do not listen actively, if something is going on, if we have some oral recording going on, and we are not able to, if we do not pay attention to it, we will not be able to understand, and we will not be able to incorporate in our writing. Then second thing is reading. When we are reading, not only listening, we need to be an active reader also, because active reader is that our thoughts should not run astray. Means when we are reading something, it is effectively going in our mind. It is getting registered in our mind. We are able to understand. Means active reading means what we read, we are able to understand, and what we are able to understand, that get registered in the memory. Then highlight key points. That means we need to highlight the key points that are important for us. Those key points should be highlighted. Means first of all we need to identify what are the important points, and then we highlight them. Then organize information. Then we need to focus on how the information should be organized. That means which information should come first, which should come second. Then review and revise. After preparing, revision is important. It should be, whatever has been prepared, it should be revised and it should be reviewed for a final look. Importance of note making. What is the importance of note making? Importance of note making is that it enhances our understanding. Means once, whatever the topic is, once we have collected information from different sources and we have written it down, then we have organized it. So that means we have worked on an information for a long time. Means deciding what are the key points which should come first, which should come second. So when we are picking up information from different sources and then we are organizing it according to our requirement, then all these things, they enhance the understanding of the topic or the content. Then it helps in improving the memory also. Means when a number of times, when a single content is being gone through a number of times by the brain, it helps in memorizing. Means it registers in the memory. Then second is it improves the focus also. Note taking improves the focus. Means a person becomes more focused, going through the information a number of times. So that is what is important for note taking. Now, organize information. Note making helps us to, means we need to organize the information properly. Means we need to decide that which point should come first and what should come in the second part or in the body, or what should come in the third part of the body, whatsoever. So all the points, they should be organized in a proper manner. So we have to decide, going through the points, we need to decide that which points are important. So according to the importance, they should be placed. Then support critical thinking. Note making supports critical thinking because you have to decide between different material. You have to think what is important. We only take what is important and we leave what is less important. So we have to decide, we have to go through the content, we have to decide, okay, this is important for me, whether it is linked for my my topic or it is of no use. So we have to analyze it. We have to, after analyzing also, we need to synthesize it. Means taking all the important things, then synthesizing it and then incorporating in our content. Now we come to the methods of note making. So before getting into the detailed methods of note making, okay, no, the detailed methods of note making, that is first is the cornell method. Okay, the methods of note making. First is the cornell method. So before discussing these methods, I would like to tell you one thing, that in some boards, in class 11th and 12th, this note making thing has been incorporated. Means it is being taught in the schools, in the classes, and how it is being done, that is one, because I belong to the education field, so it is more convenient for me to give you the examples from my field itself. That is one very easy way how to learn note making and how it is being taught to the students. That is that a passage is being given, like we give passage for reading comprehension. So in the same manner, a passage is being given, but without any questions, because reading comprehension we have a lot of questions and we have exercises also which are there. So that passage, this passage which is given to us for note taking, it doesn't have any questions. Okay, so in this, what is there? The student reads the passage. Means we are asked to, the student is asked to read the passage, and how it is to be done. The method of note making is that first of all, skim through the topic. Means read the passage quickly, just getting the gist that what is being said in the passage, what are the important points which are being mentioned in the passage. Then after skimming, or while skimming, what can be done is that means initially after reading first 3-4 lines, we come to know that what the passage is about. Then keep a pencil in your hand. Then go to while skimming, what you can do is that you can underline what are the important points. Alright, and then all the lines are underlined. Right. Then after the lines are underlined, go through the passage, read the passage word by word. Once you have read the passage, if you come across any other important thing, because reading the passage word by word, you will be able to find out out that whether the points which you have highlighted, all the points are important, or there are any points which can be omitted, or there are any points which we have left out, which you have left out by mistake. So you can do that when you are reading the passage word by word. Then after this, the highlighted points, synthesize those. Means synthesize those, analyze and synthesize. And what you can do is that you can put it into your own words, shorten them up and put it there. And your note making is very good. So this is how the note making for students had been introduced, and this is how it is being taught to the students. So you get means reading and the best way to learn, to see that whether your note making, whatever you have done is correct or not, is go through the points, and if you are able to understand all what was there in the passage, then it means that your note making is perfect. Right? So this is one simple manner of note making. Now we come to the different methods of note making. The first one is cornell method. And what is the cornell method? That is, the page is divided into 3 sections. One is, the first section is the notes, the second section is the cues, and the third section is the summary. So first you write down the notes, the important points, then the cues which are there, which you have found, which can be of importance to you, and then the summary, means summarize the passage. This is called the cornell method. Then the second method is mind mapping. Mind mapping is visual representation. Visual representation can be done towards by drawing chart also, okay, or means a chart can be drawn, a flow chart can be drawn, okay, and it can be like supposing I'm talking about usage of internet. All right, that is my topic, usage of internet. And then I can mind map it. Mind mapping means that I can create 2 boxes below that, showing with the arrow. I can create 2 boxes and or 2 lines, and here on one end I can write advantages of internet usage, and on the other I can write disadvantages, and below that I can write cons. So that is also one way of making notes. Then the third is outline. Outline is that structure method that is using headings and subheadings. Means you write heading and you can write subheadings. That is a message. That is one that is similar to the method which I had explained you, which can be used for the students. Then we come to the next one. The next one is charting. What is charting? Charting is the use table. Means we can make tables of different information, and that way also it can be done. We can use tables to organize the information. Then sentence method. Then sentence method means that we write down each new thought or topic or fact or topic in a separate line. That is also one thing. So these are the different methods of note making. Now tips for effective note making. So what are the tips for effective note making? That is, use abbreviations and symbols to save time. That means use abbreviations. When we teach note making to the students, it is mandatory for them to write 5 to 7 abbreviations. Means every time if I have to write the word internet in my note making, I will give a short form to it, INT. If competition is a word which which is being repeated a number of times, then I can shorten it by the word COM or CO or any other abbreviation I can give it. So at some place we can write down in our passage only at the bottom we can write these abbreviations, and we can write the words and the abbreviations which we have used. So abbreviations and symbols can be used. Then write your own words to better understand the material, and then keep notes concise and to the point. So note making is the most important part of the note making is to remove all the irrelevant information which is of no use to us. So make it short, make it concise. The next one is use different colors to highlight. Yes, that is also a very good point, because when we are doing it electronically, then or we can use, or in the soft copy, then we can highlight the different points with different colors. And review and revise their notes to reinforce learning. Means again and again review and revise your notes. The advantages of note making. What are the advantages of note making? The advantages of note making are, that is, engages deeper understanding, means enhances or encourages deeper understanding of the content. Whatever content, means when we go through a content a number of times, obviously it encourages deeper understanding. Then it helps in identifying the key concepts and relationships. And the third thing is, it facilitates better organization and structures of information. So the number of times, the more we read, the more we are prone to find our mistakes, and the more we will be able to come to a better content. So whatever mistakes, means once, twice, thrice, if we have missed it by chance once, twice or thrice, then after some time, that means after reading a number of times, we can come across any mistake if it is left by chance. So 1, 2, 3 readings, revising, that will always be beneficial. Now what are the disadvantages? Yes, we have been talking a lot about advantages. Now there are disadvantages of note making. The disadvantages are that it is a very time consuming thing. Means if it is a passage which the students have to do in the class, for note making as a part of their syllabus, then that note making will not take much time. But if the note making is there for there are a lot of information, then it becomes difficult. It is time consuming. Going through again and again that long material, it is very time consuming, and it is at times boring also. Then it requires good initial notes or recording. And the third is, means if good notes are not there, if you have missed out on any points in the passage or the content which you have collected, then obviously you will miss out on that point. Then, so the notes need to be made very, very carefully, and may miss out on details or initial details if initial notes were incomplete. So obviously we can miss out on some important information, if we have missed out on it, then we won't be able to incorporate it later, because we tend to forget that also. Now tools for note making, that is the digital tools, means the tools for note making, Evernote, Microsoft OneNote, Google Keep, these are the ways how we can do note making. Then traditional tools, notebooks, sticky notes, index, cards, these are the way how we can keep the notes. And then hybrid tools means tablets with stylus, smart pens, etc. These are different tools, the new tools which we can use for note making. Now we come to our next topic, is note taking. Now, what is note taking? What is note taking? We have done enough about note making. Now let's focus on the other part, that is note taking. Means in simple words, it is the notes which are being taken by means when somebody is speaking and we write down the lectures, like the example, the lectures in the class. The teacher is giving the lecture and we put down the important points with us. So that is note taking. So note taking is there also, like it is a practical way of writing down pieces of information. When we write down pieces of information, and later on we can elaborate on it. It is done in a systematic manner to retain and recall them later. Means systematically, in a proper manner, we write down the notes. Then information which we collect from different places. It is an essential skill for students, professionals, and anyone that involves learning or information processing. What is the definition of note making? Note making can be defined as a process of recording key points of information in a concise and structured manner. So it is quite similar with note making itself, and it involves capturing the essence of the material being read or being heard. So it is like when you are hearing to something, okay, note making is generally we collect information. Okay, we collect information from different sites, from different books. But note taking is that when whatever is being said, we hear. Most of the time we hear and we write it down with us. Or when we are going through different material, if we come across anything, not particularly on one topic, but whatever, if we are going across some material, then if we find any important point in that and we register it with us. That is note. Then steps for note making. That means note making, gather necessary material, means notebook, pen, digital device, whatever is required. Then ensure you understand the purpose of the note taking. Means what is the purpose of the notes, why we are going to make the notes. That purpose should be very, very clear. And again, active reading or active listening is required. Okay, that means full attention, means whatever we read or whatever we listen, full attention needs to be paid. It's not just for the heck of reading or just for the heck of listening. Then recording information means write down the key points in your own words, means you have to write down. You don't have to copy it down, because in note making we were copying down the full passage. We were collecting the information and we were assorting the information at one place. We were collecting the information at one place and later on the information was assorted. But here what we have to do is we will read it and we write down the information in our own words. And again we can use abbreviations and we can use symbols also. Then review and edit, means go over your notes to clarify, add and missing information. Means you can go over, you can find out, you can read more if you need to add, or you can remove the information. Then organize and highlight important points. So again, what do? We organize all the notes which we have written and we put them in a good language and then we highlight. Then the types of note making. Again, note making also, it is the same types as note taking also is again the same as the note making, because it is like the first method is linear method. Linear notes we have not done. Linear note is the traditional method using heading and bullet points, when we write down things using headings and bullet points. Then the second one is cornell method. Cornell method is when we divide the page, as we have discussed in the note making. Then this mind mapping. Mind mapping is again the visual representation of the notes. Means we make a flow chart or some other different shapes. We use different shapes in the flow chart, make a flow chart, or different ways how we register. Different diagrams can be made to register the information. Then charting and sentence method again are the same. Charting is like we use a table, we store information, making table, and then means different information in the table, and which is very easy to view, which is very easy for professional purpose. Means we can at one glance we can tell about anything. Like let's say I can give you an example. Like let's say we have to compare. If we have to compare between different things, or if we have to compare, let's say if I have to compare, I have to compare about different cars. So what I will do, like the name of the car, the company, the model, the features of the car, the specifications and the price of the car, all can be done in a chart. And then in one go, I can just see from the chart and I can differentiate between the different cars on the basis of that table. So that information means for comparisons for these tables can be made, and they are very, very effective. Then after the charting method, we have the sentence method. Means each piece of information means that is written in the sentence, in the form of sentences. Then linear note taking. So we will be discussing linear note taking, that is use headings, subheadings and bullet points to write your notes. Then information is organized in sequential manner, means proper sequence is followed when we write the information. Means it is not that the information is for sequence, means a proper sequence needs to be followed. And then we have easy to implement and add and widely used. This method is easy to implement and it is widely used, means most of the people they use this method. Then we have cornell note making. The cornell note making. The cornell note making means the page is divided into three sections, that is notes, cues and summary. So first thing, note section is for main points. Yes, note section, that is for main point. Cue section is for keywords and questions. Okay, and the third is summary. Summary section is for summarizing the key points. Okay, so this is a very effective method. This is a very effective method. Like because I personally use this method, so I can tell you that it is a very clear and it's very easy to. It is very easy to understand and easy to maintain. Then mind mapping. So what is mind mapping? Mind mapping is a method which is like visual representation using branches, using arrows and using notes also. So we can these days in the digital tools we have those notes also. So there we can use like notes also, then we can use links also. Okay, so that is one way of mind mapping. Then central idea in the middle with the related concepts benching out. So one very easy way is like in the middle we put the main idea and then we can show different arrows, or we can show different different branches, or the note points are there in which we can mention the information. So, helps in visualizing connections and relationships. So it helps in visualizing the connections also and relationships also. The next one is charting method. So the charting method is uses tables to organize, means they are tables which I have just discussed, that the charting method is like the tables. How we use the tables, that is to organize, means the information organized in tables, though it will be a little difficult to make the table, means not difficult but a little more time taking to make the tables, but once the information is stored in the tables it becomes very easy to find out anything. So it is like columns for categories and rows for details. The categories are written in columns and rows are used for details. Then effects for comparing and contrasting information, that I have just mentioned, that to compare and contrast information, this is one of the best method. Charting method is one of the best method. Then after the charting method, the sentence method. What is the sentence method? The sentence method is that when any new point, any new information is written in a sentence, that is each piece of information is written in a separate line. Then suitable for fast-paced lectures and discussions. Yeah, this is the best method which is used for when you are attending lectures. Means when you attend lectures, then there at that time you don't have your digital devices. You cannot use your digital tools. So at that time it becomes very easy to just take a notebook and follow this old traditional method, jotting down the points in a sentence with a pen. Then this is also done through the digital tools, means if you have iPad, if you have that pen option in it, then you can write on in the digital manner also, you can take down the notes, but you will have to write the notes with a pen. So in a form of sentence. Then it can be disorganized if not reviewed and structures. Means this point, like if it is not, it can be disorganized if it is not structured properly. And if it is not reviewed properly. Means if the person has not reviewed it again or revised, gone through it once or twice, then there can be chances of disorganization and mistakes. Now we come to the advantages of note making. What are the advantages of note making? First is immediate capture of information. Means information can be captured immediately. Means once the notes are made, means you can go you can go directly to the point which you need to refer to. Then ensures that no details are missed. Note making, no details can be missed because you yourself have written down the notes, you yourself have written down. So you have heard, and anything which you have felt that it is important, you have noted it down with you. So there is no chance of missing of notes. Then useful for revising shorting after a lecture, or in a short manner after a lecture or a meeting, like you can easily revise them. Then we have the disadvantages of note making, because everything, as it has an advantage, it has its disadvantages. Means every coin has two sides. So here we go. The note making, the disadvantages of note taking are, the disadvantages of note taking are that can be overwhelming with information. Means it can be overwhelming. Means when in a class, in a lecture, in a seminar, when you are attending and too much information is there and too much important information is there, then at times it becomes difficult when you are not able to write down, when you are not able to jot down, and sometimes the mind gets boggled and the sentence construction or sentence structure can also be wrong. So it can be overwhelming when there is too much information and when all the information is important. Then second is may misunderstanding and connection between concepts. So that tends to lead to misconceptions, because the connection between the information can be missed out. Next one is often requires additional review and synthesis. Means it generally requires review. Means we need to revise it a number of times. Then after this we come to tools for note making. What are the tools for note making? Means first is when writing things again and again, what do? They enhance memory. Writing down information helps in better retention and recall. Then second is improves understanding. It encourages, because we go through notes a number of times, so our understanding, our comprehension of a particular topic, of a particular content, it improves. Then organized information means a proper structured way to organize information that can be reviewed and that can be studied easily later. Then facilitates review, that makes it easier to review and prepare for exams or presentations. Then promotes critical thinking, helps in analyzing and synthesizing information. So we can easily analyze and synthesize information. Means what is good for us, we take what is important for us and we leave what is bad for us. Then, which is better? Note making or note taking? Which one is better? Now, it depends on the context and the purpose. Choosing the method, whether it is note making or it is note taking, which one should I choose? That depends on the purpose and the context. Means purpose and the context, that in which context we need to do the note taking, what is the purpose of the note taking. Then note taking is better for capturing information quickly. Note taking is better for capturing information quickly and ensuring nothing is missed in the moment. Means we write down quickly whatever is important for us, whatever is told to us, and then we can see that like nothing is missed. Note making is better for deep understanding, organizing and long-term retention. Means note making, because we select a passage, we can read one passage, then in that one, from that one passage, we can pick up from that one passage. From that one passage, we can pick up important information. Means I can give you an example that like any topic, I have to write up. I have to prepare a presentation. Okay, or I have to write a paper for seminar. But I'll go to the different sites, and my topic, I'll pick up the information from my topic, and I can copy it and paste it in one file. Then I'll go to another site and I'll pick up, read it, skim through it, read it, and then I'll go through it and keep it at one particular place. So this way I can collect information first, and then later on, first skimming and collecting the information, then later on I can scan the information. Scan means I can go deep into that information, that what is important for me and what is not important for me. Because after I have prepared my outline, like what is important and what is not important, I can go through, I can scan that information and pick up all what is important and leave all what is irrelevant. So this way it can be better organized. If we can organize it in a better manner, we can check that no important information has been missed, no important point has been missed, and there is proper connectivity in the content which has been presented. So now after this, practical tips for effective note management. So practical tips for effective note management means whether we use note taking or we use note making. In any of the ways, means thing is that we are managing the notes. So these are the tips, because as we are moving towards the end of our presentation, so I am saying that these are we are all talking about the notes, and the notes means how we are going to manage the notes. The first one is combine both methods. The first and the most important thing is that combine both the methods. Start with note taking, means any lecture you have attended, any class you are, just jot down the notes from there, whatever you are listening, and then supplement those notes from the internet, from the books, from different sites and from the different books. We can supplement, and that way we will have a complete, concrete information content. Use technology tools for efficient note management. That is digital tools, notebooks, note taking apps. They can be used for effective note taking. So these all things can be used for note taking. So I hope that this session on note taking and note making have been easy to understand, and all your queries, all the questions that were there in your mind, that have been addressed by me, because I had tried to make the presentation and my lecture, my class as much elaborate as